Walter Nolen's injured, and the Arizona Cardinals have no reason to rush him back. Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Alex Clancy here. Follow me on Twitter, Clancy's Corner. Follow the podcast at Locked On AC Cards. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen free wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So a lot's happened since we talked last. Yesterday. This happened during camp, pretty much as I posted the last show. It's something that's an issue. It's a trend, but it's also a situation that the Cardinals are much more equipped to handle than in years past. I'll discuss. So the Cardinals play their starters in the preseason. I'm going to give a preview to that topic in the final segment while doing a full-blown segment on it tomorrow. Marv, momentum, good things from the small clips we've seen from camp. I'll discuss that in the second segment. But first, obviously and foremost, Walter Nolen III. It's a calf injury that he sustained in camp. And head coach Jonathan Gannon said he's going to miss some time. So this is the third dude who was drafted in, the top two rounds. First was B.J. Ojulari, and then Darius Robinson, and then now Walter Nolen. To get injured in camp and then, are threatening missing some regular season time. It's still very much TBD. It happened yesterday. There's a lot that they're going to need to, work through to see, what the true status of his calf is, etc. And while it's never good for anybody to get injured, okay, while it's never good, the bright spot here, if there is one, is that the Cardinals are in the best position they've been in to sustain something like this that I can remember. They've got a whole bunch of dudes. Okay, so B.J. Ojulari, Walter Nolen, Bilal Nichols, all will head to the PUP list. They can be removed at any point. This isn't like when the season starts and they've got to miss the first 6 weeks. They can be removed when they're ready to practice. But it's just a roster construction shift. That's where they're at. But, chances are Walter Nolen wasn't going to start, okay? So we've talked about this a lot where it's like if it's 50-50, give it to the rook. That's not to say that he's going to beat out a Dalvin Tomlinson or beat out a Calais or beat out a Darius Robinson, depending on configuration up front. The Cardinals have the infrastructure in place to sustain an injury or two. Obviously not ideal. Obviously not what you want, especially from the 16th overall pick, or they've been so high on. Okay, this isn't a great situation. And the Cardinals are also in a position to be able to withstand the storm. And that's something that is an immediate reminder of what roster depth looks like from dudes who you trust to be on a football field. This isn't just having a bunch of guys. It's like, all right, well, send out the next one, next man up. No. This is still a strong front, as I've stated, like across the entirety of the roster, namely on the defense, because the majority of the picks that the Cardinals made were of the defensive variety. If the entire rookie class for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025 didn't exist, this roster would still have had a huge 0-1 jump with the talent floor. On top of, the growth, maturity, follow the bouncing ball into positivity and growth from first and second year guys into their next year, like the collection of all of it. If the rookie class, if there was no draft this year, the Cardinals still made exponential roster growth this offseason. So with that, you're able to handle something like this, irrespective of severity, and still be able to move forward. Naturally, again, it's not what you hope for. It's not what you wish. You don't want anybody to get injured, especially the 16th overall pick. But they've got so many dudes who are trustworthy up front, whether it be the interior defensive line or off the edge, that this is something that's sustainable. Now, what does it look like if Walter Nolen misses the entirety of camp? Okay. This is something that is a little bit more complicated. It's not necessarily just about the product on the field. It's about his growth as a young player. Like with Bija Ojulari 2 years ago, so I guess 3 years ago, we saw some burst from him at the tail end of that season. Okay. With Darius Robinson, he missed the majority of the season. So we've seen some flash plays, but it's not anything really that you can say good or bad from last year. So what does it look like if Walter Nolen misses the entirety of camp? Coupling with the abridged offseason, going through the combine, going through the draft, going through not a whole lot of face time with his now teammates, it just cuts everything very short. So the learning curve is going to bleed well into the season, which isn't ideal. That's the overarching not ideal thing here. It's the injury. Of course, you want him to get healthy as quickly as possible. The product on the field isn't going to suffer nearly as much as it would have in years past, because you're not drafting dudes to save the position group. You're drafting dudes to be the future of and bolster. But if he misses, camp is there's like 10 more days left, and then you got preseason, 15, 16. So it's not that long. Camp, true training camp isn't that long. There's a lot that's packed into each day, of course. But with the calf injury, he could 100% be out a month, which would be the entirety, pretty much, of the preseason also. Now, luckily for the Cardinals, they can handle this. This roster can handle this. Devin Tomlinson, Darius Robinson, Calais Campbell can handle this. Dante Stills, who is looked to be dude, you know the phrase, the best abilities availability? Dante Stills is just chilling. Dante Stills has been the best interior defensive lineman the Cardinals have had over the last 3 years. The most consistent, hasn't been amazing, but it's been average to definitely above average at times. The best abilities availability, baby. So those who are thinking, well, oh no, now he's an injury guy. Walter Nolen's an injury guy. He played all games last year. He missed one game the year before, and he missed a couple games his first year in college at Texas A&M. So it's not like he played 6 games each of the last 3 seasons in college, and he dipped to 16 because he had injury concerns. People get injured in football. You get one injury or 2 early in your career before really being deemed injury prone. Rondale Moore, injury prone. Rondale Moore played, I believe, his whole freshman year, shattered a bunch of records, and then was never healthy again. So him coming in and being unhealthy, missing games, it's like, oh yeah, obviously he's injury prone. We'll see what happens with Will Johnson. Will Johnson only played half of last year. But this isn't like something that was a red flag for Walter Nolen coming into camp or coming into the draft cycle. Yeah, dude never plays. That's not this. Calf injuries happen. The bottom line is the Cardinals can sustain this injury and be able to keep the locomotive moving forward. What's going to be tough is Walter Nolen catching up to an already much faster paced game in the NFL from college, and how he's going to be able to adapt with now almost no camp time. And we'll see what happens. It'll be monitored. It happened yesterday. So we'll see if he misses the entirety of the preseason also, TBD. But all in all, in the big picture of 2025, while you don't want anybody to get injured, the Cardinals finally have a roster that's sustainable without the 16th overall pick for some sort of time. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Marv looks juiced. And listen, seeing little clips from him on the field yesterday, no pads, no nothing. I want to remind people of something that gets lost in the fray almost immediately with our gotta have it now and short memory way of thinking. It's ridiculous. Next, Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. I already said that, but I want to say it again. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat, get your draft board ready, and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and the overreactions we live for. It's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, me and my buddies from high school, fringe college, we're firing up the app, man. 20 years. we've been using the Yahoo Fantasy app. True story. So whether you're a first-timer or a vet like me, use the Yahoo Fantasy app. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win, all beginning on August 4th, 10 or 11 days away. Stay tuned and get, creating or joining a fantasy football league at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. And let's make this fantasy season the best one yet. Definitely not downplaying Walter Nolen having a calf. Okay. Not downplaying it, but also putting into perspective, got to keep moving. And the Cardinals are not like, well, crap. Now there's a huge hole in the middle of the defensive line. They've got dudes. So there's no need to rush Walter Nolen back because he was drafted to save the position group. That's just not the case anymore. Marvin Harrison Jr., 220 pounds. The dude is big. The dude is strong. And what I had forgotten, because, there's real data to look at. There's real game film wearing 18 in an Arizona Cardinals uniform on game day. What's forgotten at times is how effortless he makes things look. And I know that this is camp. I know that there's no pads. I know that 50-50 balls were in his forte his rookie year. I know that he could have been better last year, and he had the worst version of a good rookie season you'd expect. That was the worst it could have been last year, and it was still pretty damn good. Almost 900 yards, 8 touchdowns. Could have been a lot worse, man. And you're looking at Quentin Johnson and dudes like that just flat out dropping passes during camp. Like, what I see from Marv is the slow, methodical, incremental growth that a young stud receiver coming out of college looks like going into year 2, especially, and this is, I don't have Marv's number, okay, but I would lend to think he wasn't very proud of what he did last year in the biggest body of work. Okay, sure. It's hard to break into a run-first offense with Trey McBride as the first pass-catching option, okay? And also, while we saw the oh my God moments from Marv last year, a bunch of them, Rams game, Miami game, the catch against San Francisco, among others, that was the worst he could have played, and it'd still be deemed a good year. So when you see him running routes, it's just like, and again, I know camp, I know nobody's defending him. It just is effortless. He's a big man, and he runs like he's on ice skates. It's amazing. It's graceful. Like, I haven't done this in a while, so everydayers who've been around for a while, you remember this. There are certain NFL players who are just like gazelles in open space. So easy, so effortless, while just scooting past defenders. Like Lamar Jackson is the obvious one. Like, he's the most fun to watch in open space, I think, out of any player, especially from the quarterback position. Jamar Chase just gets to spots. He doesn't even look fast. Like, Justin Jefferson looks fast when he's running. It's effortless, but it looks a lot more laboring. Like, Jamar Chase he's on skates. It's the craziest thing to see him hit a hole and gone. And it doesn't even look like he's trying. Rondale Moore is like that. I know that I just talked about he's never healthy. When he was with the Cardinals and he got in space, like, oh my goodness, it's so much fun to watch. Kyler labors. Like, Kyler's fast, but it looks like he's running in fast forward. It's not the most graceful thing. He gets to where he needs to go for sure, and he's super elusive and stuff like that, but it's not the same. Marv is like that. It's so aesthetically pleasing to watch him in space. It's so aesthetically pleasing to watch him work, and not everybody's like that. Do you remember, there was a clip from last year. I think it was him and Quentin Johnson on the same field, and they were doing the same drills, and it's like, oh my God. Marv's a 10-year pro, and Quentin's going into his first year of college. Like, it was so glaringly obvious, the talent disparity. So when you see Marv yoked now, When you see what he did last year and what he said since the end of last season, the work that he's put in on his body, and then showing up to camp in year 2, he's got a self-inflicted chip on his shoulder. The motivation that is going to come from last year for him internally, that's all the motivation he needs. The dude has stepped onto every field in his life and been a threat. Last year was the first time where that was put into question even for a second. And it's not put into question like, is he? It's put into question like, why hasn't he overcome it yet? And I've been in this space a long time, man. Like, and I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not saying that I know what goes on in between the ears of a wide receiver. I've never played in the NFL, okay? But you can read the language, both spoken and nonverbal, from a guy who knows he needs to be better and is doing the things necessary in an effort to get there. And everything that Marv has done since the end of last season to now, while subtle, obviously him getting jacked isn't subtle, but like, while subtle, he's a quiet dude. Just pay attention. Just look at the little methodical things that he's done. And I'm sure his dad has helped him a lot with that. Like, watching him just run routes, it's different. It's different. And it's something that's the most excited out of anything over the last couple of days, especially yesterday, because that was, when they really hit the field. Like, seeing Marv catch the ball from Kyler Murray in stride. And I'm not saying, 40-yard tie. I said that yesterday. It's like, I don't care. Like, oh my God, great throw, 40 yards. You're an NFL player. You're supposed to do that. Like, that's awesome. Like, it's popcorn because we're getting close. But just watching Marv's effortless route running, effortless catching of the ball with his new physique, it's just showing that he knows that this year needs to be different and he's doing the things necessary to make it so. And that, I guess an honorable mention is just watching Will Johnson on the field. Another dude just makes it look effortless. It's crazy. It's early, I know, but just watching him do defensive drills, the Cardinals just gotta steal. Like, Marv, the momentum is real. Watch the little things. You don't have to wait for week 1 in New Orleans to see it. Things are changing. The starters should 100% not play in the preseason. I've shifted on this, but I'm standing pat, at least in the first 2 games. I'll give a little preview as to why next. Our friends over at Monarch Money. This episode is brought to you by the aforementioned Monarch Money. You ever wish managing your money was easier? With Monarch Money, it can be. It can feel different. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat, and it's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app, man. It's a complete financial command center where you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. I talk about this when I do this live read, like cutting back on eating out has really helped me allocate my funds elsewhere, whether it be for bills or, purchases you want to make for my place or whatever it is. Monarch Money helps with that. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. And I'm not trying to overstate the Marvin Harrison Jr. thing, but the only thing that he has control over are his actions from the end of last season to now. And you see the way he talks about last season and the improvement that needs to happen this season. You see the body physique, the body shift, and then you see him on the field. It's like, oh my God, I forgot how effortless it looks. And it's fantastic. You know what also should be effortless for you? Subscribing to this damn podcast. I'm 3 away or 5 away from 4,000. Please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals. Hit that subscribe button, man. You see my big dumb face every day. Just subscribe. It helps me. It helps me, damn it. Thank you. The starters should not play in the first 2 weeks of the preseason. I used to not think this way. I used to not think this way, but I think this way now. What benefit does Kyler Murray handing the ball to James Conner on an off tackle first, second down do? Blocking schemes, you got camp. Extra reps, you got camp. I just I don't see it. Marv, Trey McBride should not touch a field. Shouldn't. Xavier Weaver should be wide receiver 1 during the preseason. Tip Ryman should be starting tight end. Elijah Higgins starting tight end. Would love to see him get some reps with Jacoby Brissett. Third preseason game, sure, maybe a quarter. I just the risk aversion supersedes. Oh, they get a couple extra reps during a game that doesn't matter. And again, I didn't used to think like this. But now I do. Because the one thing the Cardinals can avoid, and the one thing the Cardinals can have control over, is players being subject to potential injury during games that don't matter. That is something that is in their entire control. Now, obviously, I got to give this disclaimer because it sounds like, one human being doesn't matter as much as another, so you're putting one human being for the chance of getting injured and not the other? No. And injuries could happen at any time. Yes, Pumpkin. I know. I get it. It's the NFL. It's a dangerous game. I get it. This is the most important season the Arizona Cardinals have had as an organization in over 20 years. This will tell the future. This season tells the future. And if there's anything the Cardinals can do to manicure as perfect to a start of the season as possible going into week 1, you got to do it. This is the culmination of everything everybody's been waiting for. And that's not like a selfish thing where it's like, hey, been waiting 3 years for this. Don't screw it up by getting somebody injured during the preseason. It's kind of like that. But it's not with that, slant or not with that, standpoint. Put it this way. The NFL dropped the preseason game because I know people ain't playing. Think anybody's going to play in the Hall of Fame game? Well, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they play in the preseason. If they're playing in the preseason, so should Kyler Murray. Why? Why? I don't usually sign up for statements like, we haven't seen it yet. So until we see it, I'm going to say this. John Mulaney's got a great joke about this. It's man, had a lot of fun tonight. And it's 12:30 a.m. And somebody's like, oh, don't you mean tomorrow? Don't you mean tomorrow? It's like, shut up. These technicalities, just stop it. He obviously delivers the joke much better. That was more of a summary. But with this, as I stated yesterday, as I stated last week, as I've stated the entirety of the offseason, regarding the offense, it's either going to work or it's not. There's not a ramp up period. It's either going to work or it's not. Those reps in the preseason, I can guarantee, aren't going to be the make or break for this offense working or not during the regular season. Either they're going to figure it out or they won't. They do. We're talking MVP conversations. We're talking Coach of the Year conversations. We're talking 10, 11, 12 wins. If it doesn't work, we're talking who's going to be calling the plays on offense for the Cardinals next year, both on the field and off of it. It's either going to work or it's not. So meaningless reps in the preseason isn't going to be a huge indicator of where the Cardinals are sitting going into the 2025 season. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, a little bit different. Calais ain't playing. Josh Sweat ain't playing. Baron Browning ain't playing. I would probably, and I'll go much more in depth into this tomorrow. I think Max Melton should play. I think If Bijou Ojulari's ready, I mean, he should, like, it's been almost a full year since he tore his ACL. So he should be ready to go. Like, if he's ready, I'm playing him. Playing Darius Robinson, who need the reps. I'm playing Rabbit. You're playing Adrian Taylor-Demerson. You're playing Elijah Jones. I'm playing Starling Thomas. Like, you're playing a lot more dudes on defense. You're not playing Mac Wilson, but you're playing a lot more dudes on defense because there's a lot younger dudes, a lot of younger players. We just kind of got to see what the depth chart looks like. It's a great problem to have. But you're playing a lot more young guys on defense who are fringe starters or have started before than on offense. There's a lot more, not uncertainty in a bad way, but more questions about, like, okay, what's this depth chart going to look like? And especially if they're going against teams who are rolling out with their ones, it's fantastic practice for the defense to go up against NFL talent at 70% of the speed to kind of see where that depth chart is going to look at. I'll go much more in depth about that tomorrow. We've got the Locked On Cardinals squad show with myself, Jamil Douglas, and Ben Garcia tonight at 6 p.m. Arizona time and live on this channel. Check it out. Remember, without you, there is no me. I will talk to you as we wrap up this week tomorrow.